Part 2, The Bond Beyond Species. The Empire's leaders were furious. They had never seen anything like the bond between Lena and Kalian, and it terrified them. They had always believed that strength came from fear and control, but Lena had shown them something different, the power of empathy. And that power was a threat to everything they had built. In the days that followed, Lena was kept under close watch, her every move monitored by the Empire's enforcers. But she was not alone. Kalian remained by her side, his massive form a constant reminder of the bond they shared. Together, they began to explore the palace, uncovering secrets that the Empire had tried to bury. One night, as Lena and Kalian wandered the palace gardens, they stumbled upon a hidden chamber. Inside, they found a holographic recording of Kalian's past. The images showed a young Kalian, his eyes filled with innocence and hope. But as the recording played, Lena watched in horror as the Empire's scientists subjected him to cruel experiments, twisting him into the weapon he had become. Tears streamed down Lena's face as she turned to Kalian, her heart breaking for the pain he had endured. "I'm so sorry," she whispered, her voice trembling. "You didn't deserve this." Kalian's eyes softened, and for the first time, he let out a low, mournful cry. It was a sound that echoed through the chamber, a cry of grief and longing. Lena wrapped her arms around his massive head, holding him close as he let out the pain he had carried for so long. The Empire's leaders, watching from the shadows, were enraged. They had never intended for Lena to uncover the truth, and they knew that her bond with Kalian was growing stronger by the day. They decided to take drastic measures, ordering Kalian to be taken away and Lena to be imprisoned. But as the enforcers moved in, Kalian let out a deafening roar, his body tensing as he prepared to defend Lena. The enforcers hesitated, their weapons trembling in their hands. Lena stepped forward, her voice calm but firm. "You don't have to do this," she said. "You don't have to follow their orders." The enforcers looked at each other, their resolve wavering. And then, to the Empire's shock, they lowered their weapons, stepping aside as Lena and Kalian walked away. The bond between them had not only defied the Empire's expectations, it had inspired others to question their loyalty. As Lena and Kalian stood together, their bond stronger than ever, they knew that their fight was just beginning. The Empire would not let them go so easily, but they were ready to face whatever came next. Together, they would show the galaxy that there was a better way, a way built on understanding, not fear. Part 1, The Arrival of the Outsider. The Galactic Empire was a sprawling dominion of steel and fire, its reach stretching across countless star systems. For centuries, it had ruled with an iron fist, crushing any who dared to oppose its might. At the heart of this empire was Zorith, a planet of towering spires and dark secrets. It was here, in the shadow of the Empire's might, that a young human girl named Lena arrived, her presence as unexpected as a whisper in a storm. Lena was no ordinary girl. She had been sent to Zorith as part of a diplomatic mission, though the Empire saw her as little more than a curiosity. Her blonde hair and green eyes stood out amidst the sea of alien faces, and her quiet demeanor only added to the Empire's amusement. They laughed at her, calling her a farmer's daughter, and mocking her for daring to stand among them. But Lena's calm gaze hid a fire that even the Empire could not extinguish. As she walked through the grand halls of the Imperial Palace, Lena felt a strange pull, as if the very walls were whispering to her. She followed this feeling, her steps leading her to a massive chamber deep within the palace. The air was thick with tension, and the sound of low growls echoed through the space. Lena's heart raced as she entered the chamber, her eyes widening at the sight before her. There, in the center of the room, was Kalian, the Empire's Feline Overlord. He was a creature of immense power, his sleek black fur rippling with muscle and his glowing amber eyes burning with a primal fury. Kalian was the Empire's greatest weapon, a beast of unmatched strength and ferocity. But as Lena approached, she saw something in his eyes that no one else had noticed: pain. The Empire had used Kalian as a symbol of their dominance, forcing him to fight in brutal battles and crushing any hint of rebellion. But Lena saw beyond the beast, recognizing the soul trapped within. She knelt before him, her hand extended in a gesture of peace. The room fell silent as Kalian's growls softened, his massive head tilting as he studied the girl before him. "You're not a monster," Lena whispered, her voice steady despite the fear coursing through her veins. "You're just like me. You're trapped." Kalian's eyes narrowed, and for a moment, it seemed as if he might strike. But then, to the astonishment of everyone watching, he lowered his head, his massive body relaxing as he let out a deep, resonant purr. The Empire's laughter turned to gasps of disbelief as Lena rose to her feet, her hand resting gently on Kalian's head. The bond between them was undeniable, a connection that defied the Empire's understanding. And as Lena stood beside Kalian, her calm gaze meeting the shocked stares of the Empire's leaders, she knew that her arrival on Zorith was no accident. She had been sent for a purpose, and that purpose was about to change the galaxy forever. Part 3, The Spark of Rebellion. The Empire's leaders were in turmoil. The bond between Lena and Kalian had shaken their foundation, and they knew that they had to act quickly to regain control. They ordered a full-scale assault on the palace gardens, determined to capture Lena and Kalian before their influence spread any further. But Lena and Kalian were not alone. The enforcers who had once served the Empire now stood by their side, their loyalty shifting as they witnessed the power of Lena's compassion. Together, they formed a makeshift alliance, their determination to protect Lena and Kalian unwavering. As the Empire's forces closed in, Lena and Kalian led their small group through the palace's hidden passages, their knowledge of the Empire's secrets giving them an edge. They emerged in the heart of Zoritha's capital, where the oppressed species of the planet had gathered, their eyes filled with hope as they watched Lena and Kalian approach. Lena stepped forward, her voice carrying across the crowd. "The Empire has tried to divide us, to make us fear each other. But they've underestimated us. Together, we are stronger than they could ever imagine." The crowd erupted into cheers, their hope reignited by Lena's words. Kalian let out a powerful roar, his presence a symbol of the strength they could achieve together. The spark of rebellion had been lit, and it was spreading like wildfire. The Empire's leaders, watching from their towering spires, knew that they were losing control. They ordered their forces to crush the rebellion, but the people of Zorith were no longer afraid. They had found a new strength in Lena and Kalian, and they were ready to fight for their freedom. As the battle raged, Lena and Kalian stood at the forefront, their bond unshakable. They fought not out of anger or hatred, but out of a desire to protect those they cared about. And as the Empire's forces began to falter, it became clear that the galaxy was on the brink of a new era, one where empathy and unity would triumph over fear and oppression. Part 4, The Battle for Freedom. The rebellion had grown into a full-scale uprising, with species from across Zorith joining Lena and Kalian's cause. The Empire's forces were relentless, but the rebels fought with a determination that could not be broken. At the heart of the battle was Lena, her calm presence a beacon of hope for all who fought beside her. Kalian, now a symbol of the rebellion's strength, led the charge, his massive form cutting through the Empire's forces with ease. But the Empire had one last weapon, Drakkar, their ruthless commander, who had been sent to crush the rebellion once and for all. Drakkar was a towering figure, his armor gleaming as he stepped onto the battlefield. His eyes burned with a cold fury as he faced Lena and Kalian, his voice dripping with malice. "You think you can defeat the Empire?" he sneered. "You're nothing but a child and a beast." Lena met his gaze, her voice steady. "We're more than that. We're a family. And we'll fight for each other until the end." The battle that followed was fierce, with Drakkar's forces pushing the rebels to their limits. But Lena and Kalian fought with a strength that defied the Empire's expectations. Together, they faced Drakkar in a final, climactic battle, their bond giving them the power to overcome even the greatest of odds. As Drakkar fell, the Empire's forces began to retreat, their resolve shattered. The rebels erupted into cheers, their victory a testament to the power of unity and hope. Lena and Kalian stood together, their bond stronger than ever, as the galaxy began to change around them. Part 5, A New Dawn. With the fall of the Empire, the galaxy began to heal. Lena and Kalian became symbols of hope, their bond inspiring others to come together and build a new future. The oppressive rule of the Empire was replaced by a new order, one built on understanding and compassion. Lena and Kalian traveled the galaxy, spreading their message of unity and hope. They visited planets that had once been under the Empire's control, helping them rebuild and find their own strength. And as they stood together, looking out at the stars, they knew that their fight had been worth it. The galaxy was no longer a place of fear and oppression. It was a place of hope, where species could come together and build a better future. And at the heart of it all was Lena and Kalian, their bond a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is always a light.